Once they get to their bus stop, it could be as many as 45 minutes to an hour before their bus arrives.
Sometimes you have to wait a couple hours until a bus gets there.
And a lot of times you got to go to an interview or a job, people with low income, trying to catch the bus.
So if you were reading the Sunday paper and came across this ad, Imperial Tap Room said, "Come on in." And you can use this ad as a coupon for $1 off your order. Sheriff Lewis says the backpack was found in between Lake Marvin, where we are now, and the Canadian River, which is just south of here. All this fire in Tulia, it just looks like it's getting worse. I mean, look out here. We've got a structure that's caught on fire. This is a house completely engulfed in flames, and you can see the wind is not helping. It's a party out here. I mean, you can hear this band playing there. Little Texas is a country band, pretty popular back in the day. They've been playing country songs, rock songs, doing some Disney covers. Is it a good temperature to go out and hunt some Pokemon?
Definitely.
Go?
That would be a great
idea.
idea.
What we learned today is that the most sought after Pokemon in Texas is Eevee, right?
Yes,
so
Eevee.
Gotta go find one of those. Find it. Thanks for joining us tonight. This ordinance is meant to protect the people and the animals who call Amarillo home. While it will require more walking from bus riders with the proposed fixed route concept, those route times will be cut drastically, in some cases from 3 hours down to 1. I'm 5'5" tall. This grass behind me is at least a foot taller, and under the right weather conditions could be fuel for a potential wildfire. Madison, if you had to guess, what would you think is a leading cause of death in our area?
You know, before seeing your story, I would have thought it was cancer, but that's not the case.
No, it's actually cardiovascular disease. That's the most common cause of death throughout the entire Panhandle. And if you're looking, behind us is this interactive map. You can access this on our website at newschannel10.com that breaks down by county across the whole country.
Next drill is 3 rounds standing, 3 rounds kneeling. Ready, threat.
All law enforcement officers have to go through 40 hours of training and fire 800 rounds before they can carry an AR-15 on patrol.
After that, there are annual qualifications that are required and annual in-service training.
It's a pretty rigorous course.
It's something that we take very seriously. We want to train and prepare our officers to survive.
But for any private citizen that wants to own, use, or carry an AR-15, the requirements are not that extreme. Actually, there really aren't many requirements at all. I come in, fill this out, you type it out, and then I walk out with a gun 15 minutes later?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no training required?
No training required.
And I can walk around town with that long gun without breaking a single law.
If you're running around open carry with an AR strapped to your back out in the middle of downtown, that poses more of a threat. You might not be threatening looking as a person, but essentially you have the potential to shoot it, 200, 300, 400 yards and further.
But people do carry them in Amarillo, and if it's just strapped to your back or pointing down to the ground, police can't do anything about it. The Potter County Sheriff's Office gets more calls about open carry of AR-15s than they see the open carry of handguns on patrol. It seems as if the law has just overlooked these bigger, more dangerous guns.
This is Texas, and the law simply does not prohibit the carrying of a long gun in a public place in general. It's been that way for a long, long time.
Just because someone owns an AR-15 does not automatically make them a threat, like Randy Blades, who we met out at the city shooting range.
I have an AR-15 for recreational purposes, sporting purposes, and hunting purposes. So it's just all around good gun. It's fun to get out and shoot.
He makes it a point to keep up with his training on the gun.
I just like to be responsible and safe with my firearms.
But that cannot be said for all AR-15 owners.
The training level of armed citizens is something that we are concerned about.
You should be able to take that gun out and tear it apart and blindfold it and put it back together. That's how familiar you should be with that weapon.
So I tried it out.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, it's a big gun. I trained with an AR-15 for the first time at the gun range with Blades. It just clips in like that?
Are you not tall enough?
I guess try standing up. It was not too hard to figure out.
All the way back?
That do load it. But learning how to use this gun is not something I could have safely done on my own. Law enforcement trains as extensively as they do to eliminate any uncertainty like I experienced. It will not become illegal to openly carry AR-15s anytime soon. Officers just want to be sure that if you do choose to do this, you're properly trained and safe. Reporting live in the studio, Shannon Smith, News Channel 10. Colton was walking through the 8th grade hallway Monday morning at Bushland Middle School when one of his friends told him to look outside.
I saw the big plume and I called my mom, and my dad said, "Go get him, I need some hands."
He did not waste any time getting to the station, quickly changing from a student to a volunteer firefighter.
I didn't have to, but I wanted to go help.
Colton and his dad, the fire captain, were first to respond to the semi-truck that had just driven off the I-40 overpass in Bushland.
This hose was already off by the fire, and when I got on the scene, I chalked the wheels, pulled the blitz fire off, and I got on the hose.
He was the first to actually start fighting the fire. In his year and a half as a volunteer firefighter, Colton has already been ranked higher than dozens of other firefighters in that agency. Last year alone, he went on 160 calls and by now has helped fight about 50 fires, all while playing basketball at school and keeping his grades up.
Even the LIT fire from the last windstorm, that he stayed out with me until 2 o'clock in the morning and came home, took a nap, went back to school. So he has a lot of drive to do it.
It's a lot of work, but Colton says it's worth it. Firefighting is in his blood.
I've been around it for my whole life, and I love helping people.
It's like something out of an action movie. But it happened right here in Amarillo in the parking lot of the police department. Police say a driver called 911 and told a dispatcher Corrina Dawn was trailing her and ramming her car repeatedly. The caller was instructed to drive toward the police office where officers would meet her. The pursuit took the two drivers in and out of the Amarillo Police Department parking lot, where an off-duty officer saw what was happening and came to see if he could help. He reports Dawn continued to hit the driver as the cars circled around the police building and back into the parking lot. Police say the officer was able to get the victim safely into a parking spot. Dawn finally stopped but refused to exit her vehicle. Reports say the officer feared for his and the victim's safety with Dawn still in the running car, so he reached to remove the keys. When this happened, Dawn accelerated with him halfway inside the car, dragging him through the parking lot. The officer was able to shift the car's gear into neutral as they hit a concrete barrier. It's enough to shake you up, but neither the victim or the suspect were injured.
Our next graduate is being presented his diploma by his brother, Lance Corporal Travis Fannin of the Marine Corps in 2000.
Fannin found out Wednesday morning that he'd been granted leave to come see his little brother graduate from Randall High School. The boy's mom reached out to Randall High's principal to see if the school could make the day special for the brothers.
Of course, why not? Let's do this and let's do it right. Graduation's already pretty special, but to have your brother come in from Kuwait and give you your diploma, that's just going to blow it off the top. It's going to be pretty cool.
Williams snuck Fannin on stage during the ceremony, and the whole time Cryer had no idea what was planned for him.
I like surprising people. It brings just a smile to their face, and everyone's happy. I hope he doesn't cry. But he's a strong boy. Yeah, he'll do good.
Fannin did not get his wish. His little brother cried, and the reunion was emotional and exciting for the whole family. Cryer ran to hug his brother as the audience cheered. He says he was shocked, surprised, and so happy to see Fannin after all this time.
Glad to be home with my brother. That's all I can say. Congratulations, little brother. Thank you.